Right folks, I did just make a video of this, but the battery ran out on the other camera, so I'm going to start again. What you need is 2 onions. Because it takes 20 minutes, I've put the onions already in the pan here. And I put them on high for a couple of minutes, and then you drop them down to about number 6 or 7. Glass lid is always good, because you can let them sweat. If you haven't got a glass lid, no sweat. Well, there's going to be no sweat, because you can't sweat. Anyways, you want them to be like a golden browny colour, so you'll know yourself, like what you'd have on a hot dog and all. You can see I've burnt the ass off a few of these, like that's not meant to happen. It won't matter the curry, but anyways, I put about 3 or 4 glugs of rapeseed oil in there. Anyway, that's saved a lot of time. Over here I've got 100 grams, or a massive handful of pistachio nuts, which I got in ShopRite. About £4.50, and then the kids have shelled them for me. Extra hot chili powder, which is my preference. You don't have to, just use chili powder. Green cardamom pods, coriander seeds, ginger. I never use this. I actually use the fresh ginger. If you buy one of these plants here, just keep it in the freezer wrapped in tin foil. When you take it out, you can still cut it even though it's frozen. You want your 4 cloves of garlic. I'll show you how to peel them in a minute. Garam masala, blick pepper. If you haven't got blick pepper, which is South African, just use black pepper ground. A lemon, a couple of tubs of these Greek natural yogurts, free for £1 in ShopRite. A tin of chopped tomatoes, and obviously your 4 chicken breasts. In this spice bowl here, I have I've got 1/4 teaspoon of the ground black pepper, 1 teaspoon of garam masala, 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder, 1 tablespoon of coriander seeds. Oh no, tell a lie, the coriander seeds are in this baby here. My spice blender broke down, so I'm using a Blend Active, which is for the gym, but because none of us go to the gym or ever have been to the gym, we're using that. So then there I've got 1 tablespoon of the coriander seeds, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cardamom, and because I haven't got any ground cardamom, I've put 7 or 8 green cardamom pods in there as well, and a 4cm stick of cinnamon. If you haven't got the 4cm stick of cinnamon, no worries, just use cinnamon powder. Like when I say 1 teaspoon, I usually go for a slightly heaped teaspoon. I never flatten them off like. Oh yeah, and you got your lemon and your yogurt and shit. Right, anyways, so now that we're at this stage, what I'm going to do is pump up the heat on this a bit, get those onions back up. About 9 or 10 on the cooker. There you go. So now you got your 4 garlic cloves. You could chop them and try and peel them, but I'll show you a quick way. Oh, by the way, if you look up here, that's all me like spices and shit there. And then down here, I designed this myself when I made this kitchen 10 years ago. I got all my spices and me oils and shit. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a cup, put the 4 garlic cloves in the cup, put your hand over it, and wrap it like, oh, there you go. Keep going. Oh, by the way, if you've got no ginger at all and your name's Gel, just use some of your hair. Right, we've got to keep doing that. Bash it around. It does work. Alright, it's not working, forget it. Right, back to the chopping board. The drawing board, back to the chopping board. Okay, I'm going to take my knife, and all I'm going to do is place a knife flat on it, boom. Place a knife flat on it, boom. Boom. Check the cone chamon. There you go. Right, so leave them there for now, and the ginger, and them, funny enough. What we're going to do now, we've got the heat back up. Okay, let me think about this now. Right, okay. Right, what we need to do first, pistachio nuts and these babies, is bang them all in this here. Like that. Let's see if I can get that a bit faster. Okay. There should be a little blendy head around here somewhere. Okay, put the cutter on it, bang it in here. Oh shit balls. Right, yeah. Put that on there. And off we go. Plug it in, yeah. Bit of a shake. Beautiful, okay. And what I'm going to do now is put all them in with my spices. Like that. Don't worry if you can't get it all out, because there might be some dampness in there or something. Because you're going to use it now. Now what you need to do now is take your garlic. You're going to take your garlic, bang it in there here again. Four cloves, right, okay. And then you want to take about an inch piece of this ginger, go a little bit bigger, fuck it, get some flavour in there. It says peel it, but, well, there you go. What I've done there, as you can see, I've added a bit of water. Because if I didn't add water, you're never going to get it out of there. And the beauty of cooking is water just evaporates with heat. So let's bring that up. Okie doke, all done. Should end up with something. Oh shit, there's a bit in there that hasn't gone. Let me do it again. Right, anyways, you should end up with something like that. So, bang that in your onions. There you go. Right. Now, once that's in there like that, we need to go now to our tomatoes. Give that a bit of a stir. Actually, give it 3 or 4 minutes in there. Like, I'm going to pump that heat up to about number 10. Get that going, because like I say, there's a lot more water in it now. But don't worry, because you're going to cook this slowly. The slower you cook these curries, the better. You're going to get the more flavour out of them and stuff. Alright, that's not good. Let's put that fan on up there. Okay. So rev that heat up to about number 10. For the purpose of the video, I'm going to speed it up a bit. Right. Crack open your tin of chopped tomatoes. Bang in there. Now this is really a basis for a masala based curry. What I'm making here is a masala. Now masala is usually made out of onions, ginger, garlic, tomatoes, salt and pepper, whatever. But usually at this point you would add turmeric. Turmeric is what you see in the curries that gives it that yellow colouring. But in this particular curry you don't need that. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the tomatoes there, bang it up to about number 10. And then just leave it for a while. Probably about 5 minutes. I'm gonna bring that heat right up to get this baby going. Probably about 5 minutes on that. Like I say, because of the video, I'm not going to wait 5 minutes. I know it'll all cook in the end. I'm not really bothered, like, you know. It's all going to go in there. So at this point here, what I'm going to do, now I'd like to point out here as well, for the purpose of the video, I've actually added the ground pistachio nuts now. I should add them later, but there's a lump of ginger there, I'll take that out. Oh, that's alright. But I'm just going to bang it in now. I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to eat it all anyway, so fuck it. Right. What I'm adding now is, just let it sit on top for a bit. The 100 grams of pistachio nuts. I got the chili powder. I got the salt. I got the garam masala, I got the ground cinnamon, I got the ground coriander seeds, and most importantly, which really gives us a nice bit of flavour, is the ground cardamom pods. This sends it mental when you put this shit in. But let it sit on top, let the heat get through it, don't just mix it in straight away. Give the tomatoes and onions a chance to cook. In the meantime, get on the vino. These glasses here, my mum gave us 10 years ago. I broke one, but they work a treat. I haven't told her I broke one, by the way. There we go, and a nice bottle of red here. Well, this is a nice bottle. It's a safe but it's Blossom Hill cheap shit from the Coe. But I like it, it's soft and fruity. Oh, matron. Stick it on the radiator for 5 minutes before you drink it. Like, get it hot. You don't want it fucking cold. It tastes like shit. Right, anyways. Right, now we've got that, we're just going to mix it up. Oh wow, now it's really starting to smell like a curry. Or if you live in Bolton, it's a curry. Do you like curry? Would you like to come over for curry? I like curry. Hey, I'm glad you come over for curry. Oh, it's smelling very good now. What you might notice at that point as well is your voice will change and start talking like this, sir. Ding ding, where to, mate? So now look at this, if you just home in on this. Look at that, now we are really starting to look like a really tasty curry. Just keep the heat up on about number 10. Don't worry about too much, you're not going to burn it at this point. Alright, you're up at number 10 now. We're going to go back to the chopping board now. Sorry, the cameraman's deaf. Right, back to the chopping board, and we're going to take our chicken. There we go. The thing about these chicken breasts really aren't this big. They're not that big. They've been pumped full of water and shit to make the customer think they're bigger chickens. They're not bigger chickens, they've just been pumped full of water. So keep that in mind when you're cooking chicken in any meal. These things are full of water, right? So you're never going to have to worry about your curry drying out because these things here. Now the other myth as well is with chicken, putting it in curry, people say cut it into 1 centimetre chunks and all this shit. No, keep it big chunks. Big chunks or cooked over a long time mean lovely soft chicken. And the biggest thing you do not want to do is whatever recipe tells you is seal the chicken. Think about it. If I seal the chicken before putting it into that pan, I've got sealed chicken that can't let in any flavour. With a curry, what you want to do, this is how you do it, look. You want to go 1, look at the size of that, right? 2, 3. That's it, right? Turn the chopping board. It's easier than turning the the wine's kicking in. And then you want to go 1 down the middle. So you should be getting 8 chunks out of one chicken breast. Big chunks means tenderness. You know what I mean? And forget that sealing shit. You're not going to seal nothing. The curry is going to absorb into this chicken. Drop it in. Let it sit on top. There we go. And we're just going to continue to do this for the next 4 breasts. Oh, 4 breasts. A lot better. Twice of what you got 2 breasts. Big juicy breasts. Now as I'm handling these big juicy breasts, I'm cutting them into 2 like that. Like, oh, I can't find a nipple. Oh, dirty but oh matron. Pop them into the pan. Oh, I love the feel of these breasts. They're a bit cold, but I reckon if you warmed one of these up like lads, you'd be sorted. Keep cutting them, that's it. 8 pieces, that's it. Drop them into the pan, now it's smelling lovely. Take your last one, take your last water breast. Off we go again. You can buy organic chicken if you want. You know, you're like loaded like. But if you're like me and you're not loaded, and chicken's chicken, sod it, just buy chicken. There you go. Right, the chicken is all in, and what we're going to do now, I have to take a nice sip of the wine. Check the corn chamon. Oh, you don't want to do that, by the way. You don't want to spill the wine all over the floor. We're just going to an advert break. Okay. Well, that's a waste of a glass of wine. Yeah, so right, luckily enough, a little bowl here caught some of the wine. You don't want to do that, folks, by the way. So anyways, back. I'm going to start stirring the chicken up. Lord God, sorry, it gets bloody lovely. That's it, coat it all. Don't worry about sealing that chicken, you don't want to seal it. All these, I wish I could explain to you. Well, you've actually been watching this video, you'll see yourself what it smells like. It's amazing. Let it all smoke in there like that, that's it. Cover all the chicken, give it a bit of a whiz round like that, like. Okay. I'm just going to go through again what you should have in there at this moment. You've cooked your onions for 20 minutes. You've pumped them up high, you've dropped them down low, you've let them sweat, you've got a glass lid, even better, there you go. You've ground down your 100 grams of salted pistachio with your 4 centimetre stick of cinnamon. If you haven't got that, remember you're going to use a teaspoon. You've also ground down 8 cardamom pods, because I haven't got any cardamom powder, and I doubt if any of you is going to be able to find that shit either. You've got in there 4 cloves of garlic, 3 tablespoons of rapeseed oil, but that's just put in as much as you need, to be honest. If you're all olive oil, don't need to be rapeseed. You're 2 large onions, yeah. A tin of chopped tomatoes, 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper, 1 teaspoon of garam masala, 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder, and that's what I've put 1/2 teaspoon of extra hot chili powder in here. But by the time I finish this country, this curry, for my personal preferences, I'll end up putting about 2 teaspoons of extra hot chili powder in here, so that I actually sweat from my eyeballs, which is, I like actually. 1 tablespoon of coriander seeds crushed. When I say crushed, and if you haven't got coriander seeds, you could use like a heaped teaspoon of coriander powder, I suppose. Ground cardamom, yeah, cinnamon. Oh yeah, I got a teaspoon of salt in there as well. And chicken, obviously. Happy days, right. I'm just going to let this cook up a little bit more, because see, like, chicken's still pink there. Turn it over. And I'll let it cook a little bit. It is sealing, but it's sealing with the spices. That's the biggest difference here. You know, sealing chicken before putting it in a curry is like, I don't know, putting yourself in a plastic bag before going out in the rain. You're just not going to get wet. And we all like to get wet. Oh, you dirty bastard. Suit you, sir. Oh, matron. So now we got to that stage there. The curry's looking good. Got it looking good, sir. Ding ding. What? Oh, mate. Curry's looking good, right? Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take one of these little yogurts here. Now this is it. If you've got one of these little yogurts here, which is 150 gram, happy days. If you've got the big tub, just get somewhere around about 150 gram. Open that up, lick the tub, I mean the top, and then take a little spoon and just empty that yogurt on. Get it all out there. Oh, imagine that all over you, you dirty man. Big black shiny. Right, there you go. It reminds me of something, I can't think what. Oh, it's like that other yogurt, isn't it? Right, anyways, bang that in there. Now stir it up. That's it, your yogurt's in there. And we have a classic curry now, but the flavours are mental. Mental, mental, mental. By now, with the wine in your system, whatever you're drinking, the smell of the curry hitting your nostrils, you should be thinking, Jesus Christ, I'm looking forward to this. Right, anyways, there's the yogurt in. What's going to happen now is that yogurt's going to break down, and it's going to separate basically, and that's what you're looking for, so just leave it. Okay folks, and that, my friends, any little minor tweaks you need to do, that is your curry. But what I'm going to do now is, because that's at full heat you see, Now you can cook this curry in 15 minutes if you keep it at full heat, but if like me, you like more flavour, you like the chicken to cook and stay really tender, what I do here is I'm going to drop this down to about number 2.5 on the cooker. Make sure all the chicken's sort of covered like that, and bang the lid on. I'll come back to this, give it a stir every say 10 to 15 minutes, and maybe drop it down to number 2, number 1.5, but mainly at number 2 because it's still got to cook. You can't really burn the ass out of the curry. What happens is the heat just makes the spices taste so much better. Right, well I'm at it. I'm not going to do it now, but I'll show you something here, watch. I picked up these for £1 in ShopRite, 4 naan breads, right? Now, you might have had naan breads before and you think to yourself, yeah, but every time I cook them, they all go dead crispy and dry and they're shite. But it says on the back, you'll throw a sprinkle of water on them. But what I do, check this out, right? Before you're going to cook these, what you want to do is preheat your oven to 200 degrees, middle of the oven, right? And then what you do, forget the sprinkle, right? Soak them. And I mean soak them. That's it, right? I'm going to take 2 or 3 of these now, maybe 4 of them actually, because only £1 a pack. Soak them like that, stack them on top of each other on a plate and wait. By the time you come to put these babies in, they'll be dry again because you absorbed it, right? So before you put them in, you just give it 1, 2, bang, in the oven. And you want to put them in for about 6 or 7 minutes. After 6 minutes, I would say open the oven, touch them. If they still feel like doughy and soft, let them go. If you feel like they got a little bit of a skin on them, like a little bit of a tiny bit of a hard skin, you're ready to go. They taste gorgeous. There you go. As far as the rice goes, what I've got here, I never use. You've got to use proper rice. This is basmati rice. If you use really cheap basmati rice, and I mean cheap shit, you're going to get mice turds in there, right? That you got to wash out. You don't want that. So the best rice going is Tilda rice, or this stuff here was actually pretty good. I can't remember what the fuck it's called, like, but it's good. So you want to use maybe, if there's 2 of you, use 1 cup, like a mug, like a man's mug of rice. But what you want to do with this, it's dead simple. You take a pan, a deep pan, any type of fucking pot, whatever. Fill it 3/4 with water and boil that water. In the meantime, take this rice, put it in one of these, and go like that and wash it under the tap for a couple of minutes. Get all the shit off it anyways, right? Then when you leave the rice in there, take a jug or another bowl, fill it with water and just let this sit in it for a few minutes. It says 30 minutes, but sometimes I don't even bother letting it sit. As long as you've washed it, you're alright. Once that water hits the boil, drop your rice in it. Do not touch the rice or stir it until it comes back to full boil. Once it's at full boil, stir it once to get all the sticky bits off the bottom. Drop your heat to number 10. Set your timer for 10 minutes on the oven. Usually I set it for 4 minutes, and then when it beeps, I put the naan breads in because that leaves 6 minutes. And I set it again for 6 minutes. So there you got your 10 minutes for your rice, 6 minutes for your naan breads, and your happy days. And then while you're serving the curry out and putting your rice out, if your naan breads aren't ready, you just turn the timer off and leave the door shut because it'll take a couple of minutes to get your curry ready. Oh, by the way, the other thing I do when I'm cooking the rice as well is I take another 5 or 6 cardamom pods. Now you can either crush them with a knife. All you basically got to do is split each cardamom pod. Just split them so the water can get in. When I'm boiling, when I put the cold water on the pan for the rice, I drop these 6 to 8 cardamom pods in the water, split, so that they boil up with the rice and you get cardamom flavoured rice, which is absolutely gorgeous. When it stops boiling and it's all finished, take your rice off the heat like that. You'll find that the cardamom pods have floated to the top. Take a wooden spoon or anything, scoop them off, fuck them in the bin, and then drain your rice. Really drain it, and I can't say this enough, really drain it, because if you think it's drained and it's not drained, when you put it on the plate and you serve the curry, there'll be a pool of water there, believe me. And that, my friends, is how to make my version of the best yogurt pistachio chicken curry you've ever eaten. If something goes wrong at this point, it's you that's fucked it up, because I've told you here how to do it. Like, if you liked it, please let me know, and I'll make more videos. Other than that, have a great weekend, enjoy the curry. See you later.